Good to be with you again. Still to come, today's guests reveal their guilty TV pleasures. But now he had a chart-topping music career spanning 4 decades, after which he became a Doctor of Astrophysics and Chancellor of Liverpool John Moores University. Now, just to keep busy, he's leading a campaign to alter government policy on the countryside. Ladies and gentlemen, the passionate Brian May. You're very welcome. I said as I came round backstage and saw you there, the only man I recognised from behind, Brian. You know,
doesn't recognise me from the front. You know.
No, this is some campaign. It's set everybody thinking, wondering which is right and which isn't right. The government plans a cull of badgers because they suggest that badgers carry bovine TB and are infecting herds of cattle, and the cost of culling cattle is going to be astronomical. I'll come on to the DEFRA comment in a minute. But just give us your take on this, Brian. You obviously don't agree that badgers should be culled.
No, I definitely don't. I think my first job is to make people realise what actually is happening, and that's 2 pilot culls are actually going ahead now. Miss Spellman just announced, and basically they will kill thousands of badgers in 2 pilot areas, one in Gloucestershire, one in Somerset. And the idea is that they think they can control bovine TB, which is a nasty disease. We all want to control it. It's not a good thing to have around, either in cows or in badgers.
Do you dispute that badgers carry bovine TB, then?
Both populations carry the disease. The cows obviously infected the badgers in the beginning because it's a disease which is endemic to cows throughout the world. So that basically farming has infected a population of badgers. The badgers then can infect back, you know, so there's an interplay. The 2 populations are linked, that's undeniable. But the thing is, what do you do to control the disease? And I have to tell you, not many people know the history. I mean, 11,000 badgers were killed in an experiment called the RBCT a few years ago. And the conclusion of those scientists who conducted that experiment was that culling badgers can make no meaningful contribution to the control of bovine TB in cattle. And that's very unequivocal. And all scientific advisors that you would... Every independent scientific advisor in this country would now say that culling is not the answer. Nevertheless, the government are going forward.
And are they doing this, are you suggesting, therefore, just to be shown to be doing something to pacify farmers? Or can you tell you what DEFRA say before we come on? They say, as a DEFRA spokesperson said to us, because we asked for a quote, bovine TB is a devastating disease that will cost £1 billion over the next 10 years if we take no further action. Our culling pilots are part of a complete package of measures that will help us bring the disease under control and ultimately eradicate it. So you would dispute that?
I would dispute a lot of that, basically. It is a package. They put together some kind of package, but really what they should be doing is pouring all our resources into vaccination. They should be vaccinating badgers and they should be vaccinating cows as well. There are problems in both, actually, but that's the logical end.
You can vaccinate a cow, it's in a shed?
Yeah, you can find a cow and you can stick a needle in it quite easily. The problem is that the EU regulations at the moment don't let us do that, for various political reasons. There's a nice badger on the screen.
Lovely.
They are just superb animals. I have to say, badgers have been in this country longer than we have. They've been here for literally millions of years, minding their own business in their family groups.
I have to put the devil's advocate aside. Just because they're cuddly doesn't mean they're staying.
It's not a question of being cuddly. I think there's a sort of anthropocentrism issue here. You know, we think that we're the only species on the planet that matters, which is obviously self-evidently not true. You know, we are animals and we are obviously quite important, but the rest of the animals are important too. They're all at the pinnacle of their creation sequence, you know, and I don't think we have the right. I feel strongly we don't have the right to treat animals the way we do.
What do you think, then, in order to control bovine TB, because it's going to cost us £1 billion, they say, over the next 10 years, how do you suggest it's tackled, then?
Well,
realistically?
Vaccination, in a word. That's what the Badger Trust would tell you. And that's actually what even the DEFRA scientists will tell you. The only long-term cure for this disease is vaccination.
Are you crying in the wilderness, though, Brian? Is there something that you think you can achieve here? And can you stop it now, or is it too late?
I think it will be very hard, but of course, you remember the forest thing, you know? Caroline Spellman stood up and said, we're going to sell off Britain's forests. Now, there was a huge outcry. There was a big petition on 38 degrees. and she had to withdraw.
So what do you want people to do?
I would love people to get up and get as angry as you did about selling off the forest. What is the use of preserving our forests if there's no wildlife left in them?
Right, you've had the details. If you want to find out more about Brian's campaign, details are on our website, idv.com/Alan Titchmarsh. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian May.
Do something. Please do something. Please help us. Please help us.
Change of mood, because in a moment, Brian will be revealing his TV guilty pleasure. But first, you've forgotten that. One of our earlier guests loves nothing more than cuddling up on the sofa and watching this.
That a big one?
No, I'm coughing like this for the sake of it.
Oh, and the moody head starts. Since finding out that we were pregnant again, I have had a successful vasectomy. We're literally within 5 minutes of finding out.
Yep.
So no more children now. Or certainly not by me.
So who is the culprit? Doting dads, Brian or Robert, or blissfully ignorant, not yet a mum, Kelly? Well, the person who one born every minute is their guilty pleasure is... Kelly.
I love it. Yes, you're right, I don't have to. I've never gotten through an episode without crying my eyes out.
I brought the tissues.
Oh, thank you. It's the music they play and it always just ends up... I don't know what it is.
I was just watched, because of a tape called The Midwife, and I watched that last night, and I had to go out in the end and get a bit of kitchen roll. It was Does it? So, do you watch that?
I've never seen it.
Never seen it?
You wouldn't like it.
Is it a woman's programme, Kelly, do you think?
Well, judging by the adverts that are on in between, which are all for breast milk and formulas and that kind of thing, yes, probably. But I can't help it. I don't know why it is.
Is it a guilty pleasure, though, or is it just not?
It is for me. I'm in a show with men and we con people and I just secretly sit when my husband goes out going, oh, God, it's so beautiful, baby. It's really, but yeah, it is guilty.
Oh, it's going to make you broody as well. Oh, God. Brian,
the opposite.
What's your guilty pleasure then on the box?
My guilty pleasure, because I'm supposed to be a rock star, and dancing's not really my thing. My wife's just been heavily involved, as you probably know. My guilty pleasure is not Strictly, but this programme called Gotta Dance. And it's kids off the street who just express themselves, and that's the only way they can do it, and they are amazing. And the judges on this sort of reality TV show are just what you would dream judges ought to be. They're supportive, they're nice, they don't do this humiliation thing. Yeah. They get into it, and it makes me cry. I tell you, just to see the talent and the hopes and dreams of these people coming to fruition, it's amazing. These kids are incredible.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Gotta Dance. Here they come. Well, I'll tell you what, right, there's a few guys out there who'll be tuning in now, but probably not for the right reason.
I see why it's your guilty pleasure now.
That was it. Actually, there's a little 6-year-old boy, actually, you have to see, who's got all the attitude, like sort of Michael Jackson. He's unbelievable. You've got to see these guys, But she's wonderful, too. Yeah, great.
They are, it's the variety of it. So you're not into that one either?
Yeah, I am now.
You've got an awful long way to those adult channels. So
I know. Actually, I get
So, come on then, what's yours?
Mine, it's rather embarrassing after all that. It's Winter Wipeout because I'm very, very immature. And the indignity of it all just makes me laugh. We actually agree. We had this unspoken thing. We didn't actually know that either of watched. We both watch it, but we wouldn't actually admit to it.
Yeah.
Until
you can never imagine it, can you? Him just sat on a. Oh, so funny.
What is Winter Wipeout?
Well, let's have a look and find out what is. Nice cue. Thank you, Brian. Here we go.
Philippa, Fraser, Michael, Ben. I know you guys just love it when I dad dance, so let's dance!
Hey, come on, he's got 4 kids. You can't knock the dad dancing, and that is good. tune. Oh, look at his fancy footwork. This is looking great. Oh, yes, actually. Hang on. Stephen is genuinely busting some moves here. Here we go. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, now he's busted his face. Yeah. Oh.
Do you know, I didn't know they did a winter one. I didn't connect Wipeout with winter Wipeout.
Yeah.
So clearly, but why winter Wipeout rather than Wipeout? Is it?
I don't know, really. I just... well, no, I can take... I mean, it's either or, really. I just think that the winter one is... because it's not real snow for a start, so it's even more slippery than it normally would be.
Basically, people hurting themselves.
It's the proverbial banana skin, isn't it, really? But it's just...
Totally, but a very painful banana skin in many instances, right? So someone, and you just go... Oh, and then, of course, it's horrible. They show it to you again,
in slow
and
motion.
again, and again, and again.
Yeah.
So is it just down to the fact that we do like to see people coming a cropper and it's not us, do you think?
Yeah.
So long as it's got nothing to do with me, that's fine.
They do a celebrity one.
Not with this one,
Would
though,
you?
I'm surprised they come through it without injuring themselves on these
They
things.
do, I imagine. It's called Schadenfreude, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
the pleasure in other people's discomfort.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely appalling,
It's
Robert
dreadful, I'm
Glenn is
sorry.
doing
Yes.
It's a great release.
It's a great release. Oh, well, getting it's very interesting. People coming on. I confessed last week that my guilty pleasure was America's Next Top Model. Which I didn't mind last, only because I watch it with my younger daughter, and I sit there saying, "Well, that's stupid." I mean, look at dreadful women; they're just brats.
She should eat something.
She should, yes, exactly.
Don't you go like that.
Don't you go like that when you go to America. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian May, Robert Glenniston, and Kelly Adams. That's all from the 18th show this week. I'm back on Monday with a guide to the world's best wedding destinations, plus 4 weddings in the Loop, actor David Haig, and Chris Isaac sings Elvis. I'll see you on Monday at 3. Just don't have a total winter wipeout. Bye-bye for now.